We need the same dependencies. If you have not installed, you'll have to say pip install request and Gradio, and it will take a few seconds. Install it, and once we are done with that, I've already created a project 11 folder here. We can create a new file inside that. I'll save this file as email_responder.py. That's my Python file I've created here. And again, I'll start with importing request. Then I'm going to import Gradio as gr. Next, I'm going to get my DeepSeek API URL, which is Olama URL, http localhost 11434 API generate. Next, I'm going to create a function to generate the email responder, which takes email content, and for now I'm going to set the default tone to formal. This uses DeepSeek AI to generate an appropriate email response. That's the comment over there. So the prompt here, the prompt is generate an, depending on the tone, formal, or if it's informal, email response to the following email, and I pass the email content. Next, I'm going to say ensure the response is polite, clear, and professional. Next, I'm going to create the payload where I'm saying model is DeepSeek R1, prompt is the prompt that we created here, and stream is false. Next, let's go ahead and get the response by saying request with user library.post to the Olama URL JSON equal to payload. Next, I'm going to check if response.status code equal to 200. If the response came back, I'll say response.json.get. Inside the response, there is a key value, and the key is response. If that is available, I'll get that. If not, I'll say no response was generated. Next, if there's an error, I'll say return error and pass the response.text, which will be probably the error message. Next, let's go ahead and test the AI email responder. I'll check if name equal to main, test email equal to dear support, I am facing issues with my order, can you assist me? Very simple and straightforward. And then I'll give a comment here, print text here, AI generated email response, and then call the generate email response with the test email that we have created here. Save this. This is our end of step 2, and go back here and say Python email. So run the project, which is our step 3 in this particular case. So I'm running this, and now it's calling the DeepSeek AI and trying to generate an email for the email that we have received, which is dear support, I am facing issues with my order, can you assist me? Now let's see what DeepSeek comes back with. And there you go. It took a few seconds. It went through the normal process of thinking about the message that we sent, and then it said subject assistance with order issue, dear support team, thank you for your prompt attention to my query. I appreciate your support and assistance in addressing the issues related to my order. Please rest assured that I understand how important it is to have a smooth ordering process. So it looks like this is coming from a customer, not from, and I am saying dear support, I am facing issues with my order, can you assist me? And it's giving me a response as if, let's look at what it was thinking. Alright, so the user has sent me this query where they want to generate a formal email response, email they received. So it thinks that they received the email, but I want to generate an email response to the following email as an support associate. Actually, instead of as a support associate, I'm going to go ahead and remove this following email, generate an formal email as a response from the customer support team to the customer for the following email. That's what I'll say. We'll clear it out here and then run it again. Okay, looks like this time it understood and says subject assistant with order issue. Dear customer, hello there. Thank you for reaching out regarding your order. I noticed you mentioned you're experiencing some issues with it. Would you please share a bit more about what's happening? This will help us assist you more effectively and ensure we resolve the matter promptly. Looking forward to hear from you. Best regards, and your name. So perfect. This is how an automated email should look like. Again, as you saw, the prompt makes a big difference on how the response is generated. So you have to always be careful on what you add in the prompt. Maybe it will work sometimes, but just to be clear, you'll have to word it properly so the AI can understand what you are trying to do. And as usual, I'm going to comment this out and I'll add the code here. I'll start with creating a Gradio interface by saying interface equal to gr.interface. The function is this generate email response, Inputs that I need from the user is in a text box, lines equal to 5, placeholder is place the email content here. Radio, next one is radio. Do you want formal, casual, or friendly tone? And that will be used as the tone over here. Next, I'm going to say outputs, gr text box, label equal to AI generated email response. Title, I'll give it as AI powered email responder. Description is paste an email and let AI generate a professional response. Close that, and then if name equal to main, I'll launch this interface. So that's pretty much all I have to do. I'm going to take the same email here, copy it, and then go back here, clear it out, run this project. Now once I have the URL, okay, I'm copying it again, so which means my previous copy will go away. Let's go back and copy that email, go back to my browser, and this is my email responder web application ready. I'm going to paste it here. I'll say give me a formal, or let's say this time I'll say a casual, or let's say friendly this time. Submit, and it's sent to that function, and it's gonna generate a friendly AI generated email response right here. And there you go. It took a few seconds and it got me back a nice and friendly email from the customer support team to the customer, and it has this content here. You can use this, send it to your customer if you want to, depending on how you want to use it. Anyways, so this takes us to our next year, what we mentioned. Other than, I can also specify saying write the email response where it starts with a more of a formal tone or casual tone, depending on the tone that is passed on the top. We can say that generate, I can add a prompt more on the side, so let me show you. You can say write an email response in particular language that is passed over here. I'm not going to implement that right now, but you can say write an email response in a particular language that user has passed or has a radio button in this web application additionally, and you can generate in that language for your customer service team. For that, I'm going to go ahead and first make sure that this is saved. Go here, close this, clear it out, and here pip install. If you have not done this before, you'll probably have to do it at least once. Fast API and UVCon, these are the two libraries that we need. Once it's installed on your laptop or computer, what you do is you create a new file, save it as app.py, and inside here what we will do is we will create a Fast API endpoint. So let's go ahead and first import Fast API from Fast API. Next I'm going to import request. Next I'm going to create the Fast API app by saying app equal to Fast API function call. Olama URL, I'll pass the Olama URL that we've used, and then now I'm going to create a post endpoint by saying @app.post, and the endpoint is email. Then I'm going to say generate email, and I'll pass you an email content and tone. So based on this, give me an email, and for that I'll say payload, the model as DeepSeek R1 prompt, and then the email, the tone, this is the prompt that I'm passing, and then the stream equal to false because I want all the text at once. Next I'm going to say response equal to request.post to this Olama JSON payload, return response.json.get response. So whatever is I get, I'll give it back to whoever called this API. So that's pretty much it. And here I'm going to say I'm going to run this application using this UVCon app:app -- reload. So save this, go back here, I can run this, and now my API is available at this URL. I'm going to open Postman as usual, put that here, email, and then so this was the endpoint, and I need email content. So I'm going to go back here and I see email content, and it was saying write a formal email response for this one. I'll just say how are you, because we already tested that, so why not just put some random text here. And it says method not allowed. Of course I did get, let's change that to post, run it again. Now it's calling. If you see here, it probably gave me an error when I said get, saying that method not available, but now it's going to call that API with a post call and give me a response in a few seconds. And there you go, it thought about it for a few seconds, and then finally I have my subject reply, how are you dear recipient, I hope this message finds you well, and whatever. So I have my reply email generated from DeepSeek AI and given back to me in JSON format in API. So there you go, you were able to I hope you were able to implement this API and the application. If you had any issues or questions while implementing this, let me know in the messages and I'll get back to it. And first, created a project 12 folder. Inside this, if you have never installed this, I'll say go ahead and install Request, Gradio. These are the two libraries that we always use. I'll also add FPDF, which I'll be using a little later, but why not import it right now? So I'm going to import that, and as you see, I've never downloaded FPDF, so it downloaded it for me. Go ahead and clear this out. Go here, create a new file. I'll save this as resume_generator.py, and inside this I'll start with importing our libraries, where we start with import request, import Gradio SGR. I'll also add that library that we imported from FPDF, import FPDF, and we'll be using that later. And let's go ahead and add the DeepSeek API URL. So Ollama URL equal to http localhost 11434 API generate. Now let's write the function generate resume, which takes inputs as name, job role, experience, skills, education, and summary. So these are the information that I want to create a resume. Again, let's add this function will use DeepSeek AI to generate a structured professional resume. Let's give the prompt. I'm going to say first generate a professional resume based on following details, and those details are, I'm going to give name as name, job role as job role, experience as experience. Next I'm going to say skills are skills, education, and summary based on the inputs that I provided. I'll say ensure the resume is ATS friendly, well formatted, and professional. So that's all I need. Let's go ahead and do the payload. Model is DeepSeek R1, prompt false. Close this. Next I'm going to say response request.post Ollama URL and pass the payload. Next I'm going to say if response status code equal to 200, then return response.json get response or no resume generated. If there's an error, I'll say return a response text. Next, let's go ahead and test the resume generator. If name equal to main, I'll say that test resume is generate resume. I'll pass the information that I have, like John Doe is the name, job role is software engineer, has 3 years of experience with Python, AI, web development as the skills, education is BSc in computer science, and experienced in AI and cloud computing. So that's the summary that I'm providing. So that's good. So that will take this and we'll add that here, and let's see what it will generate. I'll say test resume because that is what is called here by generate resume. So perfect. So that once I'm done with that, let's go ahead and test it out. I'm going to open my command prompt here and I'll say Python resume generator, run that, and it's going to take some few seconds and generate my resume right here. The reason it's not printing this first because I'm calling the function first here, generate resume. That's why it's going to print both of these lines together. And there you go. It took a few seconds and then it created me. Let's go all the way to the top before it started thinking. AI generated resume, thought about it, whatever I specified, and then it said here John Doe, phone number, email, LinkedIn profile. Let me move it here, portfolio, website, summary. Based on what user has, professional experience, it just gives me the software engineer XYZ. It gives me a nice format here, tells me also add the previous experience, maybe education, skills, and that's our resume right here generated by DeepSeek AI. To the project, and usual, I'm going to comment this out here, go above here, and here I will create the Gradio interface. I'll say interface equal to gr.interface. I'll say function is generate resume, that one, and now I need to provide all the inputs. First for the name, I'll say label full name, text box another for job role. Next for slider experience, so this will be a slider from 0 to 50. I hope nobody has more experience than that, but if you do, you can change the slider values here. Next I'm gonna say text box for skills. Next I'll create a text box for education, and the last one is summary, so I'm going to create a text box for summary. So that will take these values and put it inside this function, and then output will be generated in a text box, generated resume, title and description. Title is AI powered resume generator, description is enter your details to generate a professional resume. Close this up, and then to launch the web app, I'll say name, if name equal to main, interface.com. So this should create our web application. So let's go ahead and clear this out, run this Python resume generator, and it says it's available here. I'm going to go here, open my browser, open this URL and it says, okay, let me just enter my information. Rana, job role is AI engineer. Years of experience, I'll say, let's change this to 10. Skills I have is, let's just use the ones that I have provided here, which is Python, AI and web development. Education, I'll give the same thing as this, and then summary, I'll give the same thing as this and submit. And now it's going to process and give me my resume right over here. And there you go, we have our resume created right here for Vivian Arana, company name, city, state, phone number, all the information. And when I enter it or copy it inside a PDF into a document, I can actually edit these and then provide. Also, if you look at it, something interesting, it picked up Portuguese and French as the languages that I know. Even though I don't know any of these languages, still added them just to give an idea that you can probably add that. Maybe because from my name it thought that I am Portuguese. Anyways, that was strange. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you how you can create a function. So I'm going to say create a function here, or maybe before radio right here. I'm going to say generate PDF resumes, and it takes the resume text and file name. This is where it wants I want to save it. I say PDF equal to fpdf pdf dot set auto page break auto true margin 15 pdf dot add pages pdf dot send font Arial size 12. That's the font that I'm setting. Now this will create me a PDF format. Next I'm going to say for line in resume dot text split by next line pdf dot cell 200 x and y and text equal to line. That's what it will create a cell and then add that for each and every line in my resume text that is provided. Now I say PDF output or to this particular file name that I have, and I'll say return file name. So if you run this function, as soon as you receive the text, let's say response that I receive here that I'm passing back, this response that I'm passing back. So either from my code here where I'm printing the resume, you can actually pass that text directly to the resume text here to this function, and it will give you a PDF that will be saved in the file name that you specify. So that's how you can directly get into a PDF and download the document and get that document for you. So that's how this works. I'm going to say prompt equal to generate a resume in a particular language with all the details that are provided here, instead of saying this part here. So I'm going to comment this out, but this is how you can create a resume in a different language. So for example, if you're in Canada and then you need to provide resumes in English and French, so you can use this tool over here to do here. Next, close this and make sure that first you have fast API and UVCon available to deploy. This we have been using for quite a lot of projects now, so you should probably have it, but if this is the first project, then you probably might need that. Once I do that, next step is I'm going to go ahead and import from fast API, import a fast API. Again, I need to save this as app.py. Next I'll say import request. Next I'm going to say app equal to fast API. This will create my app. I'll say Olama URL equal to http localhost 11434 API generate. This is my URL for Olama where it can call the API. Now our endpoint, I'm saying post resume generate resume doc, and I pass the data dictionary. Say payload model DeepSeek R1, project is generate resume based on this data, and then stream is false. I'll provide that, and then I'll say response equal to request.post, pass the Olama URL JSON payload. I'll say return response.json get response or no resume available. Now I can run this with saying UVCon app reload. So I'm going to save this project, go here, run this. It's running the application right now. And now, as usual, I'm not going to run this thing, but I'll just show you. You can just go here and say slash the URL resume, and then it needs data dictionary. So you can actually go inside body and say that I want to give raw data, which is data, and that can be in your JSON format. And then inside here, you can create an object with all these different values that it needs, so for it can process the resume. So this is how we can do it. Again, it's a post request, so make sure you have that in place. You can give data something like this, and this should let you call that API and then generate your resume with that. So I hope you were able to follow along and get this project and the API implemented. So let's go ahead, go here, and I'll first install the dependencies. I'll say pip install request and Gradio. Now once that is installed, I'm going to clear this out, go back to my project folder here which I've created. I'll create a new file. I'll save this as meeting_minutes.py. okay, so that's there. Next, what I'm going to do is I am going to import requests, then I'm going to import Gradio as gr. Next, I'm going to create my DeepSeek API URL, which is olama URL http localhost 11434 API/generate. Next, I'm going to create a function generate meeting minutes, which uses DeepSeek AI to generate a structured meeting summary based on the transcript that is provided here. Next, I'm going to say prompt summarize the following meeting transcript into structured meeting minutes, and I'll pass the transcript. I'll say extract the key discussions, decision made, and action items. Next, I'm going to pass the payload, which is model DeepSeek R1 prompt equals prompt here, stream is false. And with this data, I'll go ahead and make the request.post with olama URL and the payload of JSON, and that will give me a response back. Now to test if the response status code is 200, if it is, then I'll return the response.json, get the response from there. If there's no response, I'll say no summary generated. Or else, if there's an error, I'll say return error response.text. Next, let's test the meeting minutes generator here. I'll say name equal to main, test transcript equal to John, Q4 sales increased by 15%, Sarah, we need to increase the marketing budget, and decision is approve higher budget. And then I'll say print AI generated meeting minutes, and then I'll say print generate meeting minutes and pass the test transcript that we have created to give us a summary using DeepSeek AI. So I'll save the file, go back to my terminal, and here I'll say Python meeting minutes.py, and it's saying AI generated meeting minutes. So I'm going to wait for it to go to DeepSeek AI and get me the output. And there you go. It took a little bit time, and then it thought about it, and then it gave me the meeting minutes, date, location, attendees. Since I've not provided this, it's asking me to enter it. Attendees, it got it from my request, and it also probably put some last names over there. And then key discussions was Q4 sales increased by 15%. Sarah mentioned that increasing the marketing budget could help sustain this growth. Next, we have decisions made. The team agreed to approve. Action items was also given here. Present the decision to increase the marketing budget to management for approval, and discuss further details on how the increased budget will be allocated and monitored. Perfect. So we have that working here, and this code worked. So I hope you were able to follow along. And usual, go ahead and comment this out since I'm going to create a web interface here. So I'll say create radio interface. Interface is gr.interface. Function is generate meeting minutes, which is this function. Inputs that it needs is the transcript. So I'm going to create a text box. I say paste your meeting transcript here. Next, I'm going to say output equal to gr text box generated meeting minutes. Next, for title, I'll say AI powered meeting minutes generator. Description is paste a meeting transcript and AI will generate a structured summary with key points and action items. Next, close this, and let's go ahead and launch the web app. If name equal to main, interface.launch. Perfect. So that's all we need to do. Go to our terminal, go and run this project. Once it's running, it's going to give me an URL right here, local URL. I'm going to open that in my browser, and there you go. We have our AI powered meeting minutes generator web interface right here. I'm going to take that transcript that we had earlier, copy this, go back here, paste it here, and submit. Now it's going to go call that API, get me the data from DeepSeek AI, and display it here. It took a few seconds, and we have our reply back here where it talks about structured meeting, key discussions, Q4, decision, action items, everything displayed right here. You can try again by pressing that and submit button again. It might give you a different format if you don't like this one. So anyways, I hope this was helpful and you were able to create this. But if you have not, it's the first time that you're hearing about it, I would say install the speech recognition This is the library that is available, and pydub. These are two libraries that we can use to get data. Clear this out. Once you install that, you can go to your code here, and here I can import speech underscore recognition as SR, so I can import that, and now I can write a function which can actually what it can do is it can transcribe the audio. So I'm go here, let's say add it here. I'll call it transcribe audio and give the file path of where the audio is. So recognizer sr.recognizer with sr.audio file. Based on the file path that you have, I'll say audio equal to recognizer.record that source and return recognizer recognize Google audio, and that will give me back the transcribed audio from there, which I can use to enter it directly into this tool to get meetings minute. So that's how you can build this. All you can do is you can go here to our prompt. I'll put the prompt here. This prompt says summarize this meeting transcript in the language. You can pass that language in here and get that transcription done in that particular language. So if you want to convert to a different languages for your global audience, you can do that using this. For that, first thing that you'll need is pip install fast API if you have not installed that earlier. UVCon. These are two libraries that we need. Once it's there, I'm going to go ahead and create an app called as app.py. And in here, I'm going to use Fast API by saying from Fast API import Fast API, import request, create the app Fast API, say Olama URL, pass the URL that we are running, where the API is running. Then I'll say app.post meeting minutes. This is the endpoint for which will generate meeting minutes. So generate minutes, and it will take transcript as a string. Create the payload. Model is DeepSeek R1. Prompt is summarize this meeting, and stream is false. Response request post Olama URL and JSON payload. And then when I get a response, I'll say return this response in JSON, get the response from there. No summary available. If there's no summary, and you can run it by calling this function. Now again, this prompt is smaller than the prompt that we have, so it might not be as perfect, but you can change that prompt depending on how you want the data from this API to come back. So we'll go back here, run this API, and go to Postman, and I'll say slash, what was that thing, meeting minutes. So meeting minutes, it's a post request. Change that. What does it need? It needs transcript, so I'm going to put a transcript here. The transcript I can just get the same one, post it here and send. It will call that URL, it will call the API and then give me details here. Now you can integrate this with your organization's different applications that you have to make it work along with those applications to you have transcripts available. And there you go, it gave me a transcript. It says John mentioned that Q4, so it just gave me a summary of this because I just said summarize this, but you can add a better prompt, something that we have used here right over here, and then get a better meetings from this API. So open terminal, let's see which folder am I in, project 14, that's what I've created. It's empty right now. I'm going to go ahead and say pip install pymu pdf. That's the first library that I need. I'll also get request and gradio, which we have installed earlier, and have them available. So it's going to download. If you don't have anything, you download and have it available. I'll clear it out. Next, I'm going to go here and create a new file. I'll save this file as pdf_text_extractor.py. Perfect. So that file is created. Next, I'm going to go ahead and import fits, which is pymu pdf. Next, I'll import gradio as gr. Import request. I'm not going to use these as soon as now, but I'm going to import them, use them later. Just keep them imported here. DeepSeek API URL, which is Olama URL HTTP localhost, which I'll probably use a little later too. Next, let's add a function which extracts text from the PDF. So I'm going to go ahead and add a comment here saying extracts text from a PDF file using pymu pdf. Next, I'm going to say text is empty. I'll say with fits.open the PDF file that is provided as doc, and I'll say for page in doc text plus equal to page.getText text plus /n this will kind of get my data from that document and kind of create a text available. And then I'll return the text if text.strip, else no text found in the PDF. If there's nothing, I'll just say no text in PDF. So depending on that, it will give me data. Next, I'm going to say text PDF extraction. If name equal to main, I'll say PDF path equal to, I'm just giving a sample.pdf. I don't have the document yet, but I'll show you how to create that. Next, I'll say print extracted text. I'll say print extract text from PDF. I'll call this function and I'll say PDF path. Now to make it fun, what I'm going to do is I'm going to print this file. So when I try to print this from Sublime Text, it opens a browser and gives me this option to this print it. I'll say save as PDF, save. And I'll say inside my DeepSeek, inside project number 14 where we are, I'm going to save this as sample.pdf. Save it. So that's good. So I'm going to go back here and now I have my sample.pdf as you can see here. Save this. Let's go ahead and run this project. I'm going to make sure that I am in the right folder and pdf_text extractor and run this file. Oh, so looks like I said pdf file.name here. So that's why it gave me an error. I'm going to go here and say just PDF file because I'm taking that as a string input and I'm going to give that string as the input to this particular library. I'm going to save this, go back here, clear it out, run it again. And as you can see, it extracted my file data based on what I've written here and it gave me the contents of the PDF file. If you look at the contents of the PDF file again here, oops, I'll better open it. It's a reveal in Finder. Open this PDF file and if you see this file was extracted something like this. Of course not perfect, but it has data available that I can use from here. So I'm going to close this here, close this here and close this. So we have our data out here. Okay, let me just again cd desktop, DeepSeek and project 14. That's where I am. Clear. So we were successfully able to run this and then get data out from the PDF file that we created. And here I've already imported gradio.sgr and we have this extract function. So what I'm going to do is comment this out first, move here and here I'll create an interface. So to first I'll say comment create gradio interface, interface equal to gr.interface, say call this function and I'll say input file label equal to upload PDF file and this will get the file and as the input for this. Next output is text box extracted text, title is AI powered PDF text extractor. Of course I'm not doing anything with AI right now, just using the PyMU PDF, but we'll be using it soon. Next I'm going to say description is upload a PDF file and AI will extract its text content, which AI I mean fits. Close this and I'll say launch the web app, name equal to main, interface.launch. Save this, go to my file here, my terminal and I'll say Python PDF text extractor and it's running here. I'm going to copy this, go to my browser, open this URL and here I'll click on this to upload the file which is in my DeepSeek project 14 folder and sample PDF that I have. I'll say open this and I'll say submit. It will go ahead and extract the data from that particular PDF. Looks pretty good. Everything is here and it has some extra content because when I've saved it, it actually saved the path of that file too. So I have this working here and this was successful. So now let's go ahead and enhance our PDF text extractor where we'll actually add some DeepSeek functionality. First, we're going to look at handling scanned PDFs with OCR. So for image based PDFs, we would want to make sure that we can extract the images from there or image text from there, and we'll have to integrate PY Tesseract for OCR processing. So I'll just show you how to implement that, but not actually implement. I'll kill this here, clear it. The libraries that I would want is pip install PY Tesseract. Next I would need, let's say, PDF to image, and then we'll need pillow. These are the libraries that I need. I'm going to go ahead and download these. Once they're downloaded or if they're already there, I can go back to my script here and update this where I can say right here, just write that down, from PDF to image, import, I want to import convert underscore from underscore path. This is the function that is available. Next, I'll say import py tesseract. That's the one that will convert images into text. From pillow, I will import image. So that will get my image. Now, if I want to write a function to extract, let's say, image text, I can say extract underscore text with OCR. So what this will do, this will need a PDF file too. So I'll say PDF underscore file, and here I can say images equal to convert from path. I'll say PDF file. I'll give the PDF file to this, and I'll say extracted underscore text equal to I'll say /n. Now if there's an image, I can just say join py tesseract. I'll use the tesseract library and say image underscore to underscore string. That's the function that is available, which will convert image to string, and I'll pass the image in there for image in images. So depending on all the images that are available in that PDF file, you'll go through each one of them and get the extracted text. And once I have that, I'll say return extracted text if extracted text dot strip. If there is some text, then I'll give that, else I'll say no text found in scanned PDFs, and so write a function called as summarize text. Like this, it will take input as text, and the prompt is summarize the following document text, which text I provide here, which I have extracted from here. And then I'll say payload model DeepSeek R1, prompt is prompt, stream is false, and then get the response request.post olama JSON payload, and return response.json.get response no summary available. So if there's response, if there's nothing, then no summary available. Now if I want to use this, I can go back here. I'll go ahead and kind of comment this out, put this back in here. Now I have extracted the text from here. Let me move it to the top, and here I can say print, and this time I'll say summarize text, and then to that I'll pass this text that I extracted, not this one, extracted text. I'm going to say summarize, and I'll say summarized extracted text. Now again, you can use that with the web interface too by uncommenting this. That is another option, but I'll just show it here. So I'm going to save this, go back here, run this project again, which was this one. It will run, it will take that PDF file that is there and give me a summary of what that PDF is. Again, it's code that we have in that file, so let's see what it comes back with. And there you go, we have the summarized text available here. So it took that code and it says the provided document text is a script written in Python that demonstrates how to extract text from PDF file using pymu PDF and then interact with Olama API. Here's a concise breakdown. So it shows me imports, function definitions, main executions, and HTML file, which is the extracted HTML file that it has. The code serves as an example for using pymu PDF and Olama, suggesting it's part of a larger system involving PDM processing and API integration. As you can see, that's what we did next. And first, if you don't have or never done this before, you'll have to get Fast API and UVCon. These are the two libraries that are needed. Next thing is we go here and clear this out, and I'll say new file, and inside here I'm going to write the code to import Fast API first. But before that, let's save this file as app.py, and here let's start with the Fast API, import Fast API, upload file and file, because I want to also upload the file, PDF file. Import fits app equal to Fast API, and then I create an endpoint app.post extract text. I'll say async function extract text, which says file, upload file and file, text equal to empty. Now with fits.open file.file as doc, say for page in doc, text equal to page.get text. So I'm trying to get the text and add that text and return that back as extracted text. If text.strip, else no text found in PDF. That's what I'm saying. Now to run this file, all you have to do is Rubicon. This is what you will implement. Again, now if you want to summarize this, you can also add the summarization API, which is this one, but I'll just show you how to run this API. I'm going to go in this particular case, I can make a post request, but before that, let's run this. And I have this available. If I want to make a post request, go post, add that URL /extract_text was our endpoint, and then I'll have to upload a file here. So you can pass a file here. So go inside body, and in here I'll say form data, and in here I can select file as the key, and in here it says file, select files. I'll select the sample.pdf that I have and then send this file, and it says no text found in PDF. So looks like there was some issue with the file upload. Let's see. It says 200. Okay, everything was fine. Maybe it didn't find some text in there, or this thing didn't work. But this is the basic idea of how you would create an API to upload or extract text from that particular API using the code that we have written. And then if you want to summarize it or do whatever you want to do with this PDF, I've already created a folder called as project 15, and inside here I'm going to say pip install request and Gradio. And then once that is done, I'm going to clear this out, go back here, create a new file, and I'll save this file as content_writer.py. Now here first we'll go ahead and import request, and then we'll go ahead and import Gradio as gr. Next I'm going to say DeepSeek API URL Olama URL equal to http localhost 11434 API generate. Now let's write a function to generate the content. I'm going to call it generate content, and it needs topic, keywords and tone. And by default I'm setting it professional, but user can change that. Now uses DeepSeek AI to generate AI powered content based on topic. A small comment for me. So prompt here is write a blog post about this topic in this particular tone. Then I'll say include the following keywords, and I'll pass the keywords in here. And then I'll say ensure the content is well structured with an introduction, main section and a conclusion. Perfect. So that takes care of my prompt. Now for the payload, I'll say model is DeepSeek R1, prompt is prompt, stream false, close this, and then I'll say response equal to request.post Olama URL and JSON is payload. Now if response.status equal to 200, I'll say return response.json.get and get the response key from there. And if it doesn't have that, that means no content was generated. Next, I'm going to say if there's an error, return error and pass the response.text over here. Now, once I have this, let's go ahead and test the AI content writer. First, I'll say if name equal to main, I'll say test topic equal to the future of AI. Test keywords is AI automation and deep learning. I'll say print AI generated content, and here I'll say print generate content. I'll call that function with test topic and test keywords, and I'll say keep the tone professional, so I'm not going to add anything here. So my code is ready. Let's go here to our command prompt or terminal and say python contentwriter.py. Now this will call our DeepSeek AI and get me the content for this blog. And there you go. It took some time and got me the entire blog post right over here. So if I scroll all the way to the top, I'll probably see like it's trying to think here based on the comment that I have provided, and then it goes through all the different things, and finally it will generate the future of AI, a transformative journey, and gives me a heading, the main topic here, then the role of automation AI. We have deep learning, pushing boundaries, navigating broader implication, the future opportunities and challenges, which is probably the footer, and conclusion right after that. So there you go. It gave me a nice blog post, and I can use this directly and post it on my blog. Now, next step, instead of doing this, because it's CLI based is not always easy, what I'm going to do is comment my code here, which is CLI based, and create my Gradio interface right over here. So let's move it a little bit above so it's quite easy to see. And I'll add a comment first to create Gradio interface. I'll say interface equal to gr.interface. Function is generate content, which we have written here, and that needs 3 different inputs. So inputs equal to first text box where the topic can be entered. Next I have a text box where keywords can be added. Then depending on, since I have three different tones that I want user to use, one is either professional, casual or persuasive. So that's for tone. And then output equal to gr.text box label equal to generated content. Next I'm going to say title is AI powered content writer. Description is enter a topic, keywords and tone, and AI will generate a blog post or marketing content for you. Close this. Go ahead and launch the web app. If name equal to main, I'll say interface.launch. So that's all you have to do to create a web application. Go back here and go here and say Python contentwriter.py. It's going to give me a URL where I can open the web application on. So I'm going to open my Chrome, and here, there you go, our application is ready. So I can say topic. In this particular case, I'll say the new AI experience. That's what I'll call my topic. And keywords are AI, DeepSeek, I'll say ChatGPT, and I'll say keep it professional and submit. Now it's going to go ahead and process that, call the API, get me the data and display it right over here. So it's going to take some seconds. So I'm going to stop and then come back. So there you go. It took some time and gave me the content for my social media, a blog, or can be used for marketing material, where it says the new AI experiencing, embracing the future of artificial intelligence. Talks about DeepSeek and ChatGPT over here and has the entire content here, which I can just copy and paste it wherever I want to post this. The function to create short engaging posts. So I can go here and create a function right here, move it up, and here I can write a function, say generate social media post, give the topic and platform equal to Twitter, say prompt equal to write an engaging social media post for the platform, whichever it is, Twitter, because it knows how many words it needs. Twitter needs a different set of characters versus Facebook versus Instagram about the topic that is provided here. Payload equal to again DeepSeek AI R1, prompt is prompt and stream is false. Next I'm going to say response is request.post Olama URL and JSON payload, and this will return back the response if it generates a response. If not, it will say no post generated. So now AI can create Twitter, LinkedIn and Facebook posts directly from here. And where is my prompt? Oh, let's go to this one here. So I'll just give an example. I can just say prompt write a blog post about this topic in language using this tone. So I can just add this right here and then also pass the language along with all the different keywords here, and it will give me a blog post in that particular language. So now AI can generate multilingual content. Can go here, close this, clear it out, and here first thing that I would want to do is install Fast API and then UVCon. We have done this before, so if you've done this already, you don't have to do this again. Clear it out. Next, I'm going to go ahead and save this as app.py. And inside here, I will first import Fast API. So import Fast API from Fast API, import request. Next, I'm going to create the app as Fast API app. Olama URL I'll provide HTTP localhost 11434 API generate. Next, let's create the post. I'll say the endpoint is generate content. I'm not creating a post, sorry. I'm creating the API endpoint, which is generate content, and it's of the type post. So the request type is a post API with generate content. Next, I'm going to say create the function, which is generate content, and data will be passed as a dictionary. I'll say prompt equal to write a data with tone blog post about data topic, data keywords. And then the payload is model DeepSeek R1, prompt is this prompt, and stream is false. Response is request.post Olama JSON payload, and return response.json get response, no content available. So this is the basic API that I can create. Now to run this API, you can just use this inside Postman, or sorry, not Postman, inside my terminal and run this, and my API is running here. So I can take this URL, I'm going to open Postman, and here run it slash generate content, and then I need the data, so I'm going to go to body and I'll say raw, and this time I'll say JSON. And inside JSON, if you remember, we need tone, topic, and keywords. So I'm going to add a dictionary here, or data dictionary, which is tone is professional, topic is AI development, and keywords is AI Python, and run this now. When I send it, it's saying method not allowed because I said get. Let me try again, and I'll wait for it because it's going to go call Olama and then get the data and then give it back to me. There you go. It took a few seconds or more than a minute, and then it gave me the content here finally. So this is my entire topic based on AI development. Tone was professional, and keywords was AI Python, and it kind of got me like talks about PyTorch here, talks about Matplotlib. So all this data about AI development is given here, and I can use this blog post and or I can integrate directly with one of the blogs that I have and directly post it there. So I hope you are able to follow along and get this working. If not, or if you had any issues,